Good morning. Welcome to Earth and Owl. I'm Nikki, and I am live this morning to talk about rebounding and answer some frequently asked questions. So I'm just going to hang tight here for a moment, make sure, okay, it looks like people are viewing, looks like I'm on. Let me know in the comments if you're hearing me okay, that would be great. I am using my regular webcam, which is not the highest quality, but it's what I had to work with today. So let's talk about rebounding. I wanted to start with myself, a little introduction, and how my channel got started. So I had a in-person yoga and rebounding studio prior to the pandemic in my little rural Midwestern town. I live in southeast Nebraska in an area, the town I grew up in has less than 4,000 people in it. So very small area, you know everybody's name and there's only one stoplight in the town. And I had this little studio there. And when the pandemic happened, I was trying to provide online content for my local viewers, my local participants. And I was making these videos. I have no background in technology, so I'm making these videos and I figured, well, if my local participants are watching them, there's no reason why I shouldn't put them out there for other people as well. And so that's how the Earth and Owl YouTube channel was born. If you go back to some of my earliest videos, the picture quality is not good. This has all been a very self-taught process. I get a little bit better at video editing as time goes on, and I just try to, it's kind of like diving into the deep end of the pool. You just sort of have to do it and figure out how to swim. So that is how the Earth and Owl YouTube channel got started. I have found over the last nearly 3 years that my channel has become a magnet for people who are advanced in age, chronically ill, looking to lose a significant amount of weight. Maybe they got started rebounding and weren't given proper form instruction or given good beginner advice on how to get started. And I think the reason my channel has found success is because I'm a former educator. Prior to teaching yoga and teaching rebounding, I went to college to be a teacher, and for 10 years, substitute taught. I was a K-12 school counselor in a rural little school. I taught preschool, so teaching is second nature for me. And also, I'm very passionate about accessibility. So making sure that rebounding and yoga can work for everyone, no matter your age, your fitness level, all of that. So I have found a lot of success with people coming over to my channel and just maybe needing to step back and start over, like they found an online rebounding beginner video on YouTube and it was 30 minutes long and they couldn't complete it at all, and just needing to step back, to scale back and say, oh, this is how to do it. This is how we begin. So I just really strive to make everything beginner friendly. All right, other than that, just a little information about me. I've been married I'm 42, and it is December 27th, 2022 right now. So I'm 42, I've been married for 22 years. So yes, I was a baby when I got married, and my husband and I met as teenagers. And we have 3 kids who are 21, almost 17, and 15 right now. So we are, in addition to, this is my full-time job. In addition to this, I am also a beekeeper and teach pollinator education around my area. So, all right, that's enough about me. Let's move on to some frequently asked questions. I wanted to talk really quick about the benefits of rebounding. So a lot of stuff is said about rebounding, but I like to stick with what has been studied or what is kind of scientifically proven benefits of rebounding. And I'm going to reference my notes here. We know that rebounding improves balance, and especially as you advance in age, by the time you hit 40, our balance is often in decline. We know that rebounding, scientifically proven, improves balance, and that is going to help with fall prevention and just aging, having a good quality of life as you age. It helps with pelvic floor function. So one of the number one kind of frustrating things that people say to me is, I can never rebound because I've had children and I have bladder leakage. And I usually say to that, did you know rebounding can actually help you with that? It helps strengthen the muscles of your pelvic floor. And I have a couple of different tips on bladder leakage. Don't let that hold you back from rebounding. I'm going to get more into that when I talk about the FAQs. So it can help your pelvic floor function. It strengthens pretty much all your muscles, but especially the muscles of your feet, ankles, calves, core, especially people. Rebounding is an incredible core strengthening exercise, and many people really lack the core strength necessary to rebound for an extended period of time when they first start. So that is why I tell people you may have to start with only a few minutes. If you are lacking in core strength and you rebound too long when you first start, you're going to end up with an achy low back and other issues. So that core strength is a really important component. The good news is rebounding is going to help you with that. Summer says, I have to go, wanted to say thank you. You are awesome. I am a beginner and your channel has been wonderful. Thank you so much, Summer. Okay, moving along, it improves bone density. So again, for women, as we age, there are some studies out that rebounding and jumping in general help with bone density. Cardio is always good for your heart, and it relieves stress and improves lymphatic circulation. So those are some of the things that have been studied about rebounding benefits. There are others. I mean, it aids in weight loss if you're looking for that. You know, I think as time goes on and rebounding grows in popularity, we're going to see that list grow of scientifically studied benefits. All right, let's move on here to some of the questions I get asked the most. Probably number one is, what rebounder do I use? So you can see this side, my rebounders here behind me. These are Jumpsport 350 Pros. I just had a UPS truck pull up. I can see them in the window. So sorry if you hear barking or a knock on the door. My rebounders are Jumpsport 350 Pro. If you're gonna go with Jumpsport, I definitely recommend going with the 350 Pro or higher to the 500 series. I have found in my studio, and there's the doorbell and the knock, I have found that the 350 Pro works for nearly all ages, abilities, fitness levels. It is a little on the small size in terms of diameter. So if you're wanting something a little, oh, hang on just a sec.
I have a signature package.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I need your signature.
Sorry, I'm right in the middle of a live video.
Okay,
So
just sign your name.
there you go.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Last name is?
Hayes, H-A-Y-E-S. Sorry about that. Okay. Anyhow, as I was saying, 350 Pro, Jumpsport 350 Pro or higher. That's the trampoline I used in my studio. It is my favorite. I do sell them on my website, 𝐒𝐻𝐴nd𝐿.com. You can get them directly from me. I have owned a 𝐵ELLICON and I have owned a Leaps and Rebounds and would recommend those as well. 𝐵ELLICON is very pricey. It's a great trampoline. It's very pricey. So I feel like the Jumpsport is just as good and a little more budget friendly. And then the Leaps and Rebounds is typically what I recommend if you are on a tight budget. So those are kind of my top recommendations, but my overall favorite is the Jumpsport 350 Pro. All right, second question I get asked is, where do I start? And that is not a one-size-fits-all answer. So much of that is going to depend on your age, your health, your fitness ability. Have you been away from fitness for a long time? Are you chronically ill? So I have 2 recommendations when it comes to getting started. The first one is for people who are advanced in age, are chronically ill, are looking to lose a significant amount of weight, like 50 plus pounds or more. Those who have been away from fitness for a really long time or who have never really participated in fitness. For those people, I recommend doing my beginner progression program. On my website, there is a downloadable PDF that lays out the order of the videos. There's over 50 pre-recorded videos in the program, and they start out at a very basic level. They start out with my Grandma Helen videos, which are videos with my grandma, who is 88 years old, in them. And my grandma has inspired a lot of people to get started rebounding. They see this 88-year-old woman and they think, if she can do it, I can do it. So that's where that program begins. And then it advances. There's 4 categories, and you want to finish one category before you move on to the next. And you can take it at your own pace. So let's say you get to category 2 and you come across a video that's really challenging for you. I recommend you stay on that video for a week or 10 days until you master those moves, and then you move on and progress through the program. So that's for, again, one more time, chronically ill, advanced in age, new to fitness or never been involved in fitness before, and those looking to lose 50 plus more pounds. My second recommendation is for people who are already fairly active, can rebound for at least 10 minutes gently, and that is to simply follow my live schedule. Right now, at the time of this filming, I am live 4 times a week. On Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, that is my beginner rebounding class. We rebound for between 10 and 15 minutes and then follow it up with a little bit of toning, a few toning exercises, and maybe a little bit of stretching. It's typically around 20 minutes in length. On Thursdays at 10 a.m., I do my steps, strength, stability, and stretch class. And that is around a 45-minute class. I incorporate resistance bands and hand weights, but that's completely optional. You can do the class without it. We focus on strength. We do about, again, 10 to 15 minutes of rebounding. We do much more toning than we do in the Tuesday class, which is what makes the class a little longer on Thursdays. But I definitely recommend people do not skip the toning. That's going to help you build the muscles you need to rebound longer and more effectively. On Saturdays at 9 a.m., that's my advanced live class. And that is a challenge. That's a very challenging class. I do not really recommend it for beginners. And then on Sunday at 9 a.m., I have a class that I call Handlebar HIIT. You don't have to have a handlebar to do it. It is a HIIT style class, so we usually do 45 or 15 seconds of activity, 10 to 15 seconds of rest between each. And that's usually about a 20-minute class. You can modify to make it easier. You can intensify it to make it pretty challenging. So that's definitely an all-level class. So if you are new, if you're a beginner, you can definitely do 3 of my 4 live weekly classes. And that's for people who can rebound for at least 10 minutes gently. And you can always take breaks and modify and do the parts that you are able. Okay, great. Moving on. The other thing that's really important to know about where to start is there is a way to rebound. There is a proper form and technique. I cannot even tell you how many times I have had a message from someone. I got my rebounder in the mail. I was so excited that I got on and I just jumped around for a half an hour. And the next day I could barely get out of bed. Well, our muscles aren't quite ready for that, for one thing. And 2, they don't know anything about proper form. It is nothing like jumping on a backyard trampoline where you're jumping really high and you're getting airborne. Rebounding, you want to press or push or bounce down into your trampoline. You're in an athletic ready position. You're not jumping high. You have a certain form with bent knees and a hinge in the waist. I have several form videos. So if you go to my channel, one of the first playlists is my how-to series. And I have form tutorials, I have advice, recommendations, I have how to adjust the tension of your rebounder, all kinds of things there. So proper form is absolutely key when you first get started. Start with the health bounce. If you are in that first category I talked about with chronically ill, advanced in age, new to fitness, or looking to lose a significant amount of weight, you may start with a health bounce for 1 minute, and that's where you start, 1 minute a day. And you may have to work your way up from that. So learning the proper form and that health bounce is really important. Okay, next most popular question. Should I rebound barefoot or should I wear shoes? It's so funny to me how people can actually get in fights over this online. Like seriously, I've seen arguments on Facebook posts or groups about what is better. And what I say is do what's comfortable for you. Yes, there are huge benefits to rebounding barefoot. It's going to strengthen the muscles of your feet. It's going to increase your proprioception, your body's ability to know where it's at in time and space. It's going to help you with your balance. When I rebound gently, I typically go barefoot or wear grip socks. Now, I have a former knee injury, and I gotta say, wearing shoes is just more comfortable for me, and that's okay. That is okay. So try not to get caught up in barefoot's better, shoes are better. Try both and do what feels best for you. If I'm rebounding, like I do not rebound, advanced rebound without shoes because my knee groans and gripes and gets a little achy, that knee that I have an injury, former injury. So but when I wear shoes, it's fine. So again, I have found for me, gentle rebounding, barefoot, advanced or intense rebounding, shoes. You can decide what works for you. I also have some blog posts on my website with some of these topics that I cover. You can check that out on my website too. All right, bladder leaks. Let's get into this. I touched on it a little bit earlier in the video, so this is gonna be more for my ladies out there, and actually my following is like 80% female, so bladder leaks. Let's talk first about prolapse. Rebounding really is not recommended for prolapse, pelvic prolapse. You have to ask your doctor on that one. But if you're just, kind of a regular gal with some minor bladder leakage, let me talk about what I do to kind of mitigate any bladder leaks. Number one, I hydrate. You want to stay hydrated, but I stop liquids 60 to 90 minutes before I rebound. I use the restroom right before. If you are using proper rebounding form, you're not bouncing high, and it's that high bouncing that typically causes bladder leaks. You're hitting the trampoline with more force, and that causes the leakage. Stop, Drop, and Roll says, I appreciate everything you share. Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in today. So also, I love the Speaks by Thinks bladder leak underwear. I think there are many, many brands out there, but I have a few pairs of Speaks by Thinks. And listen, I am live in front of people. I don't want to take any chances. So when I'm rebounding intensely, especially, I wear the bladder leak underwear just in case. But I'm also stopping liquids 60 to 90 minutes before. I'm using the restroom right before. I am not high bouncing, so I almost never have that issue. And, I have 3 kids, so I understand that can be a problem, and I don't want to minimize how that can feel for people. So get the Speaks by Thinks underwear and don't let bladder leaks stop you from this fun exercise. All right, next question. How long And how often should I rebound? Again, this is so individual based on your goals. There are plenty of people in like my private Facebook group, Rebounding for Beginners and Seniors, who are older or advanced in age. Maybe they're in their 70s or 80s even, and they are just looking for that lymphatic benefit. So they hop on their trampoline while the coffee maker's brewing, and they do their 2 or 3 minutes, or they do 2 or 3 minutes before lunch and 2 or 3 minutes right before bed, or whatever that looks like for them. They're not doing it for weight loss or for a hard workout. So they might do it every day. A lot of people want to rebound for weight loss. And here's what I'm going to tell you about weight loss. I have a good friend. She's in several of my Bouncepalooza videos. Her name is Jill, and she lost 100 pounds with rebounding and improved, not perfect, but improved nutrition. And her secret, and she has shared this in some of our videos, her secret is consistency. When she had her main big weight loss, she was coming to my advanced rebounding classes, they're 45 minutes, 3 times a week. So if you are looking to do what Jill did, you would want to take my Saturday advanced class and do that 3 times a week. And that's essentially what Jill did during her big weight loss. She also did things like cut out the sweets and stop drinking pop and things of that nature. She didn't go on any kind of a radical diet. She just controlled her portions, ate more sensibly, and then came to my classes 3 times a week. And she had her big weight loss. But go to the Bouncepalooza playlist on my channel and you'll see Jill and I and my other friend, Jerry. We have a great time. It's a fun series. So check that out. So again, back to just answering that question, the how long and how often. You can rebound every day if you enjoy it. You don't have to. If you feel burned out, try for, I'd say, 3 times a week. All right. Any questions out there? There's still quite a few people tuning in and logged on here, so please feel free to type away and ask me any questions as we go. I have just a few left here. I want to talk about a phenomenon I am seeing online right now as rebounding grows in popularity. Okay, Stop, Drop, and Roll says, I have noticed that my body is changing, but the scale is not, but your body is. I will try the advanced class. I want to copy Jill. I've seen you all. Okay, well, don't forget that muscle weighs more than fat. So sometimes when you're building muscle or gaining muscle, and oh my gosh, I've never had more toned legs than when I started rebounding. So just keep that in mind. And I try to think less about the number on the scale than how my clothes fit or how I feel, essentially. So thank you for that comment. Just a couple things to keep in mind. And yes, absolutely watch the Jill videos. Okay, so back to this phenomenon that I am seeing online as rebounding grows in popularity. And it is this better, best, I'm gonna outdo, I'm gonna add this, it's like people are throwing everything but the kitchen sink into their rebounding workouts. And some of that is good and it keeps it fun and creative, and some of it is just dangerous. So remember that saying, keep it simple. I'm going to say silly instead of stupid. I know the saying is stupid, but let's say silly. Keep it simple, silly, okay? You don't need a bunch of fancy stuff, all right? New here, binging on the information you are giving. Thank you, Nell. Thank you for tuning in today. All right, so let me especially or specifically talk about rebounding with hand weights and resistance bands and different tools. If you are new, I don't recommend it, period. Most people lack the core strength. When you add hand weights or any additional weight from your body to rebounding, you increase the load to your pelvic floor and your core. And what I've already kind of shared with you is that most people need to strengthen those muscles. They're not quite adequate for rebounding for extended periods of time. So then you throw hand weights into that, which kind of can put you off your center of gravity. You know, I just think it's problematic for beginners. That's my opinion. That is my opinion. Now, once you get your form down, you're feeling confident, you've been rebounding for a while, then you're ready to add in those fun tools. And I do that in a very beginner-friendly way in my Thursday live class. It's the Steps, Strength, Stability, and Stretch class. I incorporate light hand weights and resistance bands in a safe way. So if you are kind of to that point and you're wanting to experiment with those things, I highly recommend my Thursday live class. And by the way, all my live classes are available for replay, but the replay is really for members. The live classes are available to the public for free, but in order to replay them at your convenience, then you have to join my channel. And I'll try to talk about how to do that here at the end. So don't get sucked in by bigger, better, bolder, best. Keep it simple, and you're still going to get a very great, super effective workout. Okay? All right. 2 things left. I've got 2 things left on my list. So the next one is spring rebounders versus bungee rebounders. And this is kind of like the barefoot to shoes conversation. Like people argue about it and fight about it, and I think it's kind of silly. I think the best rebounder is the rebounder that you're going to get on and jump and have a fun time. Here's what I know. I've never owned a spring rebounder. Based on many conversations I've had with participants and people in my private Facebook group, spring rebounders work for some, whereas bungee rebounders tend to work for anyone. Spring rebounders are a little more on the firm side, so if you're worried about jarring your joints or anything like that, then you're going to want bungee. But there are some really die-hard spring rebounder advocates who love the spring rebounders. Great. If you like it, that's fantastic. And then there are just as many who, or more, love their bungee. Most people who have done both or owned both, I think there is a little bit of a preference towards the bungee. Sorry, my sunlight's coming in here and shining bright on me. There is a little more preference towards the bungee rebounders, but whatever's going to work for you and your budget and your lifestyle is what's best. There's absolutely no reason to fight over what rebounder is best because there's lots of good ones on the market. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the tension setting of your rebounder. So my rebounders over here, these are the Jumpsport 350 Pro. They have an adjustable tension that allows, I like a firm tension when I bounce. It allows me to move a little faster. So when people say, I cannot keep up with you, or how are you moving that fast, or why aren't you sinking as low as I am on your rebounder? Well, I have mine set at a firm tension setting, and that's how I like it. Not all rebounders are adjustable though. So, you know, like one thing that the reason I usually recommend the Jumpsport 350 Pro or higher is because the 200 series, you sink quite a bit more. Most people sink quite a bit more. And so if you're wanting to keep up and do the fun routines, it can be a little harder on the 200 level. And they tend to have a little bit lower weight limit too. That's why I recommend the 350 Pro or higher. So just keep that in mind as you're rebounding and you're watching me or any other instructor. Our tension settings might be different, so that can affect your experience. All right, we are right at about 30 minutes. That was kind of what I was aiming for this video today. I hope I remembered everything. I'm just going to finish up today with a couple of helpful hints for making the most of the Earth and Owl YouTube channel. You can subscribe to my channel for free and hit that little subscribe button and hit the little notification bell. And there's lots of pre-recorded videos that contain ads. You can do that. If you want to make the most of my program though, I would join my channel. Most people join at either the friend level, which is $4.99 a month, and you get access to all my live workouts. If you fall in that category of advanced in age, chronically ill, new to fitness, or what was the other one? Oh, looking to lose a significant amount of weight, then you're going to want to join at the partner level, which is $9.99 a month, and you get access to that beginner progression program, which if you go back, that's what I recommended for those people in those categories. You can also join at the partner level, and that gives you access to daily, weekly, monthly check-ins with me. If you need some accountability, you need me to reach out to you and say, how you doing? Are you staying on track? Do you have any questions? Then you're going to want to join at that partner level. And here's the weird thing. That join button shows up on desktop computers, laptops, but sometimes it's missing from phones and iPads. So there's kind of a separate process for joining if you're doing it from a phone or iPad. You have to actually go to a web browser like Safari or Chrome, type in youtube.com, then search Earth and Owl Rebounding, and then you'll see that join button. So if you're not seeing the join button, use a browser. I want to just catch up with a couple comments here. Deborah says, thanks so much for your great videos, Nikki. Thank you for being here. Rebecca says, I love how you suggest adapting rebounding moves. I started just coordinating my arms and legs, then added the jumping, doing better. Yes, I try to offer modifications in all of my workouts. Not so much in my advanced class because it's advanced and that's what most people are there for. But I try to give options. Take the arms out, take the bounce out, try this, try that, just to make it accessible for everyone. And Linda says, hi, Nikki from Delaware. Hello. I have, when I was teaching in my little tiny area here, like I said, I'm from a town that's only 4,000 people. And I never imagined I'd have such a large worldwide audience. And it is like been one of the greatest gifts in my life. So it's really fun to see people from all over. So then finally, just to wrap up here on my channel, consider joining. It's like the cost of one fancy coffee a month. $4.99, $9.99, or $14.99. You can reach out to me at my email, nikki@earthandowl.com. So I'm probably most responsive on my email, or Facebook Messenger is usually the quickest. I am all over the place though. Like I have my Instagram account. I have the largest following on TikTok actually. I think right now I'm creeping up on 120,000 TikTok followers. And I just do fun little videos over there just to kind of motivate people and inspire people to try rebounding. I'm on Facebook. I have the private group, Rebounding for Beginners and Seniors. And then, of course, here on my YouTube channel, I definitely recommend paying attention to the community tab. That's where I post things you're going to want to know. And also use the playlist feature. I am totally a type A person. My channel is so organized, but you have to kind of know the system. And I use the playlist feature. So all my beginner live videos are in a playlist. All my Thursday steps, strength, stability, and stretch videos are in a playlist. All my advanced, everything, it's all there in playlists. And you can see which ones are, members only and which ones are available to the public. They're marked if they have music or not. So it's all there. It's all very organized. If you just take a couple minutes to sort of browse around my channel, you're going to figure out my organization system and how it's all categorized. All right, I think that's it. We covered so much about rebounding, and I'm so excited to have you here to rebound with you. I want everybody to rebound. This exercise is for all ages, all fitness levels, and it just has some wonderful benefits. Last thing I'm going to say is stretch. Don't forget to stretch. I do a yoga class on Sundays at around 9:30. It's right after I finish my handlebar HIIT class. I hop on for yoga. Yoga's pretty important, or stretching in general is pretty important to rebounders. Rebounding can kind of tighten up the muscles of your hamstrings and glutes. So I stretch. I actually teach yoga at a hospital and at a substance abuse recovery center. And so I'm getting to stretch a couple times a week doing that, and then on my Sunday class as well. So I'm stretching at least 3 times a week. I stretch a little bit in my warm-ups and cool downs, so important to include that too. All right, everyone. What is today? We're in that weird week between Christmas and New Year, so I'm gonna go see the new Avatar movie tonight with my family and enjoy a little more quality time with them before the new year and the craziness begins. I have been recovering from COVID and do not want to get that again. So I'm gonna finish this week my recovery, make sure I'm 100%, and I am hopping back into my live schedule next week. Again, the date today is December 27th, 2022. So, all right, that's it. I am logging off. Oh, the link for rebounding for beginners and seniors is a weird link. Well, if you go to Facebook and just type in the search bar, rebounding for beginners and seniors, it should pop up there. I'll fix that link though. Okay, everyone, thanks and have a great rest of 2022. We'll see you in 2023.